Good. And Camilla and Your Honor, you both had a good Thanksgiving?
Yes, sir. How about you?
It was nice, thank you.
Good.
Were you here or in Chicago?
No, I just got back last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got out of there before the temperature got down to 16 degrees.
Cool.
Whenever you start feeling sorry for yourself, Mr. Warwick, you have a great life. So no
No
complaints.
kidding. I don't feel sorry for myself.
You should be thankful.
I am very lucky. Your Honor, let me just introduce General Greer. He's going to be a witness. And this is
Who are you, sir?
Dr. Michael Greer.
All righty.
He will be a witness.
And then Marjorie Coleman.
That's
This
Mrs.
is-
Coleman.
Right here.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine. Are they treating you right?
Oh, definitely.
Great.
I wouldn't stand for it otherwise.
Ms. Samaniego, how are you this morning?
I'm good, Judge. How are you doing?
Fine. Let me call the case. Ready, Camilla?
Yes, sir.
Cause number 2022 CPR 01585 in the matter of the estate of Karen NEWMAN. This is an heirship determination with an independent administration. The appointment of resident agent has been filed. Waivers are on file. Ad litem are filed. And most important, the certificate is on file. Mr. Warwick, everybody that's going to testify, the witnesses that are with me, please raise your right hand. Ma'am, who's going to testify? Are you Ms. Coleman? Okay.
Yes,
Do each of you solemnly swear that the testimony, your hand, ma'am. Do each of you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Okay, and I want you to speak a little loud so that my court reporter can take down the information, okay? Mr. Warwick, call your applicant.
Ms. Coleman, would you state your full name, please?
Marjorie Joan means Newman Coleman.
And it's a good name. And just so the court knows who's with you there,
This is my daughter, Antonia Reynolds.
okay? How are you related, Ms. Coleman? How are you related to Karen Lenore NEWMAN?
I'm her mother.
And she died at the age of 68, is that correct?
That's correct.
Here in El Paso, Texas.
Yes.
Was she ever married?
No, she was not.
And did she ever have any children?
No, she did not.
And you're her surviving mother. What about her father? Is he alive?
No, he's passed. He's deceased.
And what other siblings did she have?
She has Antonia Reynolds and Hillary Henderson as her sisters, and she has one brother, Gregory NEWMAN.
Now, was Gregory a full brother or a half brother?
Full brother.
He was a full brother. And what
Yes.
about the sisters?
Antonia Reynolds, a full sister. Hillary Henderson, half sister.
And what did your daughter do prior to her death? What was her job?
She was a substitute teacher.
And what had brought her to El Paso?
She
Why did she come to El Paso?
She came to El Paso to visit General Greer and
Okay.
his wife, and she stayed after she was hired by the school system there.
And General Greer is your brother-in-law, is that right?
That's correct.
So Jewel, his deceased wife, was your sister.
That's correct.
And where do you live?
I live in Maryland.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And that's
Hyattsville.
where you are right now, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, I am.
All right, so just to recap it for a minute, your daughter, Karen Lenore NEWMAN, was never married and never had any children. Is that right?
That's correct.
And based on her application, her only heirs are you and her 3 siblings, one of whom is a half sibling. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Samaniego, you have any questions of the applicant?
No questions for the applicant, Judge.
Ms. Samaniego, please call the first disinterested witness.
Okay. General Greer,
Go ahead.
please state your full name for the record.
Edward Greer.
And how did you know Ms. Karen Newman?
Well, she was my niece, so I knew her as she was growing up, and she came out here and initially had stayed with us here at El Paso until she got a teaching position here.
About how many years did she live with you?
Oh, it was possibly maybe, it was really about 6 months or so.
And she would still come and visit you, and you all kept in touch, right?
Yes,
Do you know if she had any children?
to my knowledge, she had no children.
Do you know if she adopted any children?
No, she didn't adopt any children.
Are you aware if she took any child into her home and raised that child to be?
No,
her own?
that's not her
Oh.
approach at all.
Was she ever married?
That's what I know of.
And do you know if her parents are still alive?
Do you know if her parents are still alive?
Was right there. Well, her mother is still alive.
And her mother is the
father
applicant,
is-
right?
Huh?
Her mother is the applicant that you see, Miss Marjorie Coleman?
Mrs. Marjorie Coleman is her mother.
Do you know if Karen Newman had any siblings?
Did she have siblings?
Does she have sisters and brothers?
Oh, yes, she had sisters and brothers.
And do you know their names?
Well, there's Tony, who's with us. And then there's Gregory, a brother, and Hillary Coleman.
Were there any other deceased siblings?
Were there any other kids that?
We're having a hard time hearing, Your Honor.
My father is hard of hearing. He has hearing aids.
Wrap it up, Mr. Amaniego.
Okay. So as far as you know, no, there are no deceased siblings, correct?
There's no kids who died.
No,
Okay.
no.
No further questions for this witness, Judge.
So any questions, Mr. Warwick?
No, Your Honor.
Call the next witness, please.
Dr. Greer,
I am.
please state your name for the record.
I am Michael Edward Greer.
And how did you know the decedent, Miss Newman?
Karen was my cousin. So she's the daughter of Marjorie Coleman, who's on the screen on the right.
Did she have any children?
No children.
Any children that she adopted?
No children adopted.
Was she married at the time of her death?
Never married.
And you know her siblings, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we're all close.
Okay. Any discussions of there being any other siblings besides the ones that Ms. Coleman mentioned?
No other siblings.
And then there was a cremation service for Miss Newman, correct?
I understand it was performed in the details of my aunt knows. I don't know the details.
But if anybody would have shown up claiming to be a child or another sibling of Miss Newman, you would have heard about it, right?
Hey, Marge, she's asking you a question.
No, no.
I know that,
No.
and it's for you, Dr. Greer.
Okay.
If anybody would have, your family would have told you, right? If someone
Oh.
showed up.
Oh, yeah. They would have said there's a stranger here claiming to be
Exactly.
somebody.
And did any strangers show up?
No,
Family told you about? Okay. And since we last spoke, is there anything that you recall regarding the decedent that you did not tell me about?
no, I told you everything.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you, Dr.
Mr.
Greer.
Warwick.
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Warwick. Good job as always. Ms. Coleman, and to all of you, I'm very, very sorry for your loss, Ms. Coleman.
Thank you.
Now, there's certain things that must be prepared and entered, and one of the most important ones is a notice to creditors that has to be published. Mr. Warwick is an expert in this field. He will help you with those, and they have to be prepared and entered within 90 days from the time you sign your oath, okay? So keep in touch
All
with
right.
Mr. Warwick.
I will.
The court, after hearing testimony, finds that Ms. Karen Lenore Newman passed away without leaving a valid will, as far as we know and believe, and that the letters that are being requested by the mother, who is a surviving mother, will be granted. Anything else? You, Mr. Warwick, will e-file the oath and the proof of death.
We'll take care of everything, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
the
you.
item fees, how many hours, Ms. Samaniego?
2 hours, Judge.
$500, Mr. Warwick. Please take care of
Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Samaniego. All right. Thank you.
Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Miss